Responsible social media and ethical Facebook practice for educators. It's no secret that social media has blurred the lines between our private and our personal lives. 79% of Americans have social media profiles, and of course, many of those belong to teachers. But maintaining an online digital persona can cause a multitude of issues for teachers and those they interact with both online and in person. But what are teachers' rights on social media, and what is the policy of schools to protect themselves but also to respect freedom of speech and employment rights? School districts don't want anything on teachers' social media profiles that would affect their reputation. Teachers, on the other hand, want to enjoy the limitless possibilities of social media without restriction. But unless sharing an opinion on union activity or working conditions, the First Amendment does not protect teachers' rights to free speech online. But teachers also have a great opportunity to be a model of appropriate digital citizenship for students and the community as a whole, and Facebook can be a great global connector of resources and educators from diverse backgrounds. What about more ambiguous situations where you feel you are merely voicing an opinion or sharing something you found interesting? Any unprecedented situation can pose dangerous consequences if we do not consider it in an appropriate manner before posting something online. So why Facebook? Well, a majority of you probably currently have a Facebook page and are easily searchable by your parents, students, prospective families, and fellow colleagues. So learning how to use Facebook and social media platforms in general in a responsible but appropriately personal way is imperative to the marketing of our school and the ability to connect with fellow educators from around the world. So if you don't know, for some reason, Facebook is a social networking site where individuals host profiles of themselves, share pictures, status updates, share information, and generally connect with others both near and far. It is attractive as a social media site because it is so user-friendly and is open to everyone. Facebook makes it simple to share photos, messages, videos, status posts, and feelings. The site is entertaining and a pretty regular daily stop for most of its users. Facebook also provides a customizable set of privacy controls so users can protect their information from getting to outside individuals. But this doesn't necessarily mean you can be carefree about what you post and who you interact with online. Whether you think yours is private or not, chances are it can still get you in some serious trouble if you are not using it in a proper and ethical manner. So first, follow our school policy on the responsible use of technology. First things first, find and read our responsible use of technology mandate. After you've read it, read it again. Read it again and again, and follow it to the letter. Memorize it and learn it like the back of your hand. Before you post, like, or share anything, make sure you aren't breaking the policy, no matter how simple or innocent it may seem. Our policy has many useful reminders about how to appropriately engage with students, parents, and the greater community online. Our employee handbook also reminds us of our general code of conduct on a regular basis, which includes both in-person, online, in the classroom, and outside the classroom interactions. This is especially important if you plan to use your school-assigned tablet to access the internet and your Facebook profile at any time. This action is not prohibited by our handbook, but if you're using our equipment to access and post on your personal social media pages, you must ensure that you are following our rules every single time. So curate a responsible Facebook profile. Teachers can, and I think should, have a transparent profile that families and students can search and find. This shows openness, transparency, and that you are a real, actual person outside of the classroom. But there are some things we need to consider to curate a responsible and ethical social media profile as educators. To begin with, research yourself. Review your Facebook profile as far back as you can go, no matter how long it takes, and consider what every post says about yourself. Do you have old photos from your college days that you feel do not represent your beliefs or values anymore? Did you post some opinionated updates or personal information? You should delete those and anything else that might be even the slightest bit misunderstood without any fanfare. Immediately take note of anything that is even the least bit objectionable, questionable, or inaccurate. To help, ask yourself the following questions. Would I feel comfortable if my principal and or my colleagues saw this? How would my students and or their parents react if they saw this? Could this be misinterpreted in any way? Whether you feel as though it's a genuine act or not, removing any dubious posts and images before they become a problem ensures you're presenting a more professional image to the world. Also, carefully select your network of friends and contacts. Our responsible use policy prohibits you from friending or following our current or recent students. Friending students that have completed college or are farther out that you may feel you have a mentor or friend relationship with may be acceptable. But consider your contacts extremely closely. The larger your network of friends on social media, the more people have regular access to your posts and likes. I mean, sure, we all want to be cool, connect with our students, and be there for them in different ways, but there are just too many potential hazards to following their daily lives on social media while there are current students in your classroom. And think before you post. Do not post any material that might be seen by students, families, or any of your future employers as objectionable or questionable in literally any way. Evaluate whether the content could be considered offensive or distasteful by others, and try to consider everything from multiple different points of views. Posting comments and status updates in the heat of anger or sadness or frustration can really lead to serious repercussions later. Online posts have created some serious problems for teachers, even when they think they weren't doing anything wrong. Some pitfalls of unethical social media usage. There are numerous examples of teachers getting in trouble because of their social media usage, and what the ethical implications are in terms of their employment or termination because of their posts. Some seem pretty straightforward, while others are a lot more ambiguous. So here are just 3 examples of a teacher making a mistake online and suffering employment repercussions because of it. A Chicago teacher is currently on leave after a now-deleted social media post that used explicit language in reference to her 5th grade students. The language was extremely vulgar, and I will not say it out loud in this presentation. Suffice to say, it was very inappropriate. While the social media post wasn't up very long, and she did have the chance to delete it, screenshots were taken and it made its way around the school community and to her administration, who promptly put her on leave. They're still considering terminating her. So this one seems pretty straightforward, right? Teacher says bad thing about student, teacher is fired. But this is a potential pitfall if you think your accounts are private or that no students or parents can see what you post. I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. Private or public posts, it is likely someone in your network will see it, possibly find it offensive or inappropriate, and tell on you to someone else. With a simple screenshot, this post lives in infamy forever, whether she went back and deleted it or not. A middle school teacher in Akron, Ohio faced disciplinary action and possible firing after she posted a controversial photo to her Facebook account. The photo showed a group of her students with duct tape over their mouths with a caption that said, "Finally found a way to get them to be quiet." When it was discovered by parents and her administration, she said it was a joke and that the students had put the duct tape over their mouths on their own as a way to poke fun at themselves. Nonetheless, she was put on leave from her job and the administration was considering terminating her employment entirely. So what did we learn? Whether this photo was a joke or not, the students really did create this instance themselves. This just goes to show you that what you consider funny or a joke does not necessarily translate to others. What you think is lighthearted could be taken a multitude of different ways by other people. It's really best to not take that risk at all. Also, please note that in our responsible use policy, teachers are not allowed to post images of current students at any time on their personal profile, no matter what the reason. Finally, a teacher in Oak Park, Illinois found himself suspended and in a confusing situation after posting a picture of a student to his community nonprofit Facebook group. While he did not know it at the time, he posted a picture of a student in a black face mask with the caption, "Vote for me for Black Leaders Union President." He posted it to his organization's page to, in his words, create a community-wide dialogue on racism and use of blackface. He didn't know at the time it was a current student, but once the administration caught wind of the posting, he was suspended and subsequently fired. So while he said he didn't know at the time who the person in the photo was, and only after finding out it was a current student deleted it, it didn't matter. The damage had already been done, and the information was already swirling around the community. It was also made clear in his faculty policy that social media may not be used to share, publish, or transmit information about images of students. And while he claims he didn't know, it didn't matter, and he was eventually fired. So what do we do if we screw up? What do we do if we find ourselves in a situation where we have crossed the line with a social media posting? Well, a personal forthcoming apology is always the best start. The more personal, the better. If it's only 1 or 2 people impacted, reach out to them to apologize and make things right. Apologize and admit your wrongdoing. And take the opportunity to learn and grow from your mistakes. Learn from others' mistakes and be sure your social media profiles aren't overstepping any boundaries. Students aren't only looking to you for information and guidance, but also as good examples and role models of proper social media usage. As educators in the digital age, you bear some responsibility to show students how to use social media correctly. In addition to setting a positive example, you can also take strides to teach students about personal and professional safety on the internet, something that is absolutely critical for their development and participation in our increasingly digital world. Thank you.